If all goes according to plan, by the time you're watching this, we'll be on a plane, headed to our elopement. Since we're lifers now, we thought we'd explain how we got here. The story of Daniel and me is sad and then happy and then complicated and then sad and then happy again. It's kind of interesting and totally lame, and it started long before I ever met Daniel. In November of 2010, Daniel and I met at our future workplace, the internet. I wish it wasn't a romantic place like the misconnection section of Craigslist or a Bukowski fanfiction forum, but it was Facebook. I was fresh out of a hard 5-year relationship and not looking for anything new, but Daniel liked the band North Star and the book Catcher in the Rye, so I didn't super have a choice. In January, we met for the first time at a hometown show that Daniel was playing in Indianapolis. By then, we were talking all the time. We were talking when I was at school or work, or when he was at band practice or work, or when other people were sleeping. Before I ever met Daniel in person, I had a hard time remembering a time I didn't know him. Back then, I lived with my parents in a tiny town outside of Chicago called Hebron, and Daniel lived 2.5 hours south of me in Indianapolis, Indiana. The first time I saw him, I liked him and his boots immediately, and I was happy to know for sure that I wasn't being catfished by an old creep in a southern Indiana basement. After that first night we met, we made it a regular thing for us. We traded turns driving 2.5 hours up and down what might be the most boring highway in the continental United States, and staying over as long as possible. I was happy. And then things got complicated. I won't dive deeply into details. They're muddy and don't matter now anyway, but I left Daniel and fell back into that old relationship. For a year. And Daniel waited for me. And when that relationship ended for the last time, Daniel stopped waiting. He dropped everything and moved to Chicago, and I came with him. And he let me. And when I wanted to start a photography business, he built me a website. And when I wanted to learn to play drums, he bought me a kit. And when I wanted to move to California, he moved us. And when I think about what my life would look like without him, I can't imagine it, but I know it'd be a lot different. It'd be less. I don't know what our lives will look like in the future. I can't begin to imagine them, but I know they'll be full. Daniel is the best person I've ever met, and the only boy I know who never left me. He is kind, insanely smart, full of endless puns, and really good at being a boyfriend, and equally good at being a fiancé. He is my best friend. I don't deserve him. I don't remember my life before him, and I can't picture my life without him.